We're back with another week's worth of top news and headlines. Let's get started.
On Iran, you called it an excursion. You said it would be over soon. Are you thinking this week it will be over?
No,
Are you talking
but soon.
about days?
I think soon.
Okay, and
This week, Trump sent mixed signals on when the war with Iran might end, saying it would be over very soon in some statements, while telling fellow Republicans we haven't won enough. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth added to the confusion, saying the war is just beginning. Meanwhile, oil prices have surged past $100 a barrel, and economists warn of further increases as the war continues. Since Trump's Operation Epic Fury began, 7 U.S. service members have been killed and 140 wounded. A U.S. refueling aircraft also went down in Iraq, killing all 6 service members. The crash occurred in friendly airspace, and a second aircraft involved landed safely. On Thursday, a man rammed a truck into Temple Israel, a synagogue in West Bloomfield, Michigan, in what the FBI are calling a targeted act of violence against the Jewish community. State police later identified the suspect as Ayman Mohammed Ghazali, a Lebanese-born U.S. citizen who was shot and killed by a security guard wounded in the attack. All 140 children and staff were safely evacuated. And in Virginia, the FBI are investigating a deadly shooting at Old Dominion University as terrorism. The suspect, identified as Mohammed Baylor Jalloh, a former Virginia National Guardsman, walked into a classroom and opened fire, killing ROT instructor and retired Army officer Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Shaw, and injuring 2 others. Jalloh, who had been released from federal prison in December 2024 after an 11-year sentence for attempting to help ISIS, was subdued and stabbed by a student. He later died. The Senate has passed 8910, a landmark bipartisan housing bill aimed at improving housing affordability and availability. Spearheaded by Senators Tim Scott and Elizabeth Warren, the bill restricts large investors from buying single-family homes, offers incentives to build new homes, and provides grants for home renovation, among other provisions. Whether the bill will pass in the House remains unclear. On Monday, Uber announced it would expand its Women Preferences feature nationwide, a pilot program aimed at allowing women riders to match with women drivers to address safety concerns. The rollout comes as Uber simultaneously faces a class action lawsuit in California for male drivers, who claim the feature is discriminatory and limits their earning opportunities. Representative Jim Clyburn announced he will run for re-election in South Carolina, bucking calls for generational change within the Democratic Party. Clyburn, 85, is seeking his 18th term in the House, making him one of the oldest members of Congress. His district is heavily Democratic, and no other Democrat has announced plans to challenge him. Book banning and the erasure of Black history in schools and libraries has given way to the growth of Black-owned bookstores. In just over a decade, the number of Black-owned bookstores has jumped from 54 to 306 nationwide. But while the demand is driving the resurgence, profitability remains a challenge, pushing many owners to think beyond retail to community events and space. A year-long nationwide boycott of Target, led by faith leaders including Pastor Jamal Bryant, is over. Bryant declared victory, saying 3 of the group's 4 demands were met, including Target's $2 billion commitment to Black-owned businesses by April 2026. However, Target has not reversed its DEI rollbacks, initiated under the Trump administration. The 4th demand, a $250 million deposit in Black-owned banks, remains unfulfilled. Leaders of a separate boycott, led by the Racial Justice Network, say the fight is not over, and that the call to end the boycott is a slap in the face of the people who supported it. The Obamas are taking Broadway. Their production company, Higher Ground, will make their first venture into theater, co-producing the upcoming revival of David Auburn's Proof, a Pulitzer and Tony Award-winning play about a mathematician's daughter stepping into her own genius in the wake of her father's death. The cast stars Ayo Edibre, Don Cheadle, and Samira Wiley, who are all making their Broadway debut. While nobody asked, actor Timothée Chalamet faced backlash for saying no one cares about opera and ballet during a recent interview with Matthew McConaughey. Well, maybe he didn't know how much we stand for Misty Copeland. She'll be part of a star-studded tribute performance of I Lied to You from Sinners at the 2026 Oscars airing tonight. As always, thank you for staying tuned in to the news you need to know. Until next time, take care of yourself.